Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Today's lesson is going to be on give not thy strength to a woman, right? And this lesson sprung about, based on various conversations that me and brothers have had. And sometimes the woman can put us in a position to where our mind slips and we're not focused on the Most High. So this lesson isn't to bash women, and I'm gonna make that disclaimer 2-3 times probably throughout the lesson, because I want to make sure I'm harping on that. It's so women can be edified, as well as brothers can be edified about not giving their strength to them, man. So we're going to start off with the classic that we always start off with, Psalms 94:16.
God, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Right. So the Most High is asking, who is going to rise up and stand for him, right? We always start with this verse because it's a very important that we know what it looks like to stand for the Most High. And when you stand for the Most High, you turning your back on the world, you being separate, you separating yourself from the workers of iniquity, right? So who is it that's going to bring these difficult topics to the light? The uncomfortable topics, the topics that may hurt feelings, the topics that may cause you to lose friends and family, right? Paul said in the book of 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, that we're a spectacle to the world, right? So we're going to be looked at crazy for the way we think, the way we move, and things that we do, but it's going to be all worth it in the end. So again, this lesson is going to be mainly for brothers, but again, we definitely want sisters to listen in and get edified. And we love our sisters, the ones who are striving for righteousness. And we love our wicked sisters as well, and hope they repent. But that's the reason that we're doing this lesson, to rebuke their spirit on our people, in hopes that they do repent and they can become aware of how they may be going off, right? So let's start right here. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3.
God, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 3. And it reads, thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? So if we put anything before the Lord, whether it's our woman, whether it's our, taking too much time on our phone, whether it's sports, whether it's anything, it's idolatry. If you're giving more time to anything over the Most High, the time that you give to the Most High, then that's idolatry. You have made that thing, whatever it is, you have made it a god. And you're starting to worship it knowing and unknowingly, right? So we got to make sure that we aren't creating gods out of the things of this world, whether it's people, tangible items or whatever, so we shall not make any other gods before him, saith Yahweh. All right, let's read this right here. Proverbs chapter 8, starting with verse 4.
God, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man.
Come on, read verse 5.
Verse 5. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart.
Right. So verse 4 reads, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Right. So the Most High is dealing directly with the man, right? He's calling the men to lead our people, right? So, just to wrap your mind around it, the Bible isn't like America. right? To where you can have, so-called leaders in leadership positions, whether it's the president, the vice president, the congressman, the governor, judges, women ruling over men, and so on and so forth. That's not in the Bible, right? That's not how the Most High operates on any level. The elect and the ruling government of the nation of Israel will be men. So the Most High is calling men back to get this understanding so that they can lead their people and teach their women, their wives, so on and so forth, their daughters, so on and so forth, in righteousness, right? So we got to wrap our mind around that. The Most High is calling men directly to wake up, to come out of the ways of America, to be born again, to have a mind renewed, right? Let me get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and 31.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Saith the Lord Yahweh. So the flock of the pasture of the Most High are men, right? When Christ said in the book of Luke, I believe the 22nd chapter, that you shall sit on the thrones judging the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, that was referring to the men, right? The righteous men, the elect, right? So again, we have to understand that, again, we harping on this, that the lesson is to definitely build our men up and to teach our women, how, the righteous order that the Most High set in place. Because, we're going to go into it in the lesson, but a lot of mighty men, a lot of great men, a lot of renowned men fell because they lost track of that, and they started to put the woman really above things that should have been more important, just like, this word, the Most High, studying, reading, and obeying the righteous acts, right? So let's go into that. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High.
Right. So the head of of Christ is the Most High God, right? So Christ has a head. Then the head of the man is Hamashiach Yahawashi. The head of the Israelite man is Hamashiach Yahawashi, the righteous. And the head of the woman is the man. That's the righteous order that God set up. But we're in this land of confusion to where now it's Christ and God on the same level. Then it's woman, then it's man. The so-called black man is last in all things, man. We're really the spectacle to the world. We suck out here as black men, so-called black men right now. We really suck. We've lost our women. They're out of order. They're not following us. We're following them. So we got to come back to this right here, to the righteous order that the Most High set in place, man. Right? So again, women have an important role. And there were women in the scriptures that followed the Most High, but again, men were set over them. It wasn't a 50-50 thing, or we're all equal. Again, that's just not in the Bible, man. And we see that right here, again, with 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. Let's bring this out. 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 2.
God, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
And show thyself a man, man. Let's read verse 1 through 2 again.
God, verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
Show thyself a man. Read verse 3.
Verse 3, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
So King David, that great, one of our great forefather, left his son this advice, King Solomon, as he was dying, right? To walk in all the ways of the Lord, to keep his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, his testimonies, and all that is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turn thyself. So this is our message as well. We're crying out to our people to do these same things, to keep the statutes, the commandments, so we can walk in our glory and that we'll prosper as a people, right? But we have to gird up our loins and show ourselves as men, right? We have to do that. This is, and again, this is exactly part of the reason why we're not prospering as a people today, right? Because our men have become simps. We've become effeminate. We've become homosexuals, weak, and giving their strength over to women and the heathens, man. Brothers out here, and I like to always say this disclaimer as well. These lessons that I do really be for myself, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord put his spirit on me to do it. And I just pray and hope that edification comes. So I'm not excluded in anything that I'm saying, right? But yeah, continuing on. So what was I getting into? Okay, yeah, right. So, simps, effeminate, weak, homosexual, and giving their strength over to women, man, right? Brothers out here not going hard in this walk because they trying to impress upon a woman, right? Now, again, I don't want to say this, but it's nothing wrong with treating your woman, and getting nice things for her, but you should never let your woman take the place of the Most High, right? She mad at you because you're doing too much reading and studying the Bible. Come on now, man. I'm not out here, we're not out here in the streets chasing down other women. We're reading and studying, and you mad for me for reading and studying the Bible? Right? Come on now, let's be serious, man. But we're gonna get into the scriptures because the woman, wisdom should actually be your first woman anyway, according to the scriptures. Right? We can get into that in Sirach, Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter, about how you should chase wisdom. Various verses throughout Wisdom of Solomon, Proverbs, right? So again, wisdom should always be your first woman anyway, and that's this Bible, that's this word, right? I'm just thinking about different examples, man. You chasing a woman, man, and she want to go out to eat on a Friday night, but that's the Sabbath. You can't, because you're trying to get the woman, you can't sin, for the woman, man. That's giving your strength over to the woman. That's wicked, right? If your woman is encouraging you to break the laws of God, then you need to re-examine yourself, man. You need to re-examine her. That may not be the woman for you, right? And if you have a woman that's truly in this word, she's going to encourage and support you as you do the work of the Lord. Right? So we got to get our household in order. Let me get the next precept. Let me get the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 8.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 8. And it reads, remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors.
Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am Yahweh, there is none like me.
And there is none like me, man. There is none like the Most High, man. So we got to show ourselves men, right? We got to rise up and show ourselves men. We got to remember the former things, when we were prospering, such as these scriptures. We got to bring this stuff back into remembrance that we're the children of Israel. We can't be conducting ourselves in this Babylonian confused society, man, thinking that we can be 50-50, thinking that our woman can rule the household. No, that your household is out of order if your woman is ruling, right? So we got to get back and show ourselves men, right? Right. So, to kind of summarize what we done went over so far, we can't give our strength over to a woman. And what does that mean? What does that even mean? Right? Our integrity, our manhood, our soul, right? Doing those things will actually put you in a position to where you're exalting the woman, right? And putting her before the Most High God, right? The doggone woman telling Jake that she like him better with his beard shaved. Well, that's sin. So I can't please you if it interferes with pleasing the Most High God, man. Got Jake out here looking like a little boy, right? Let's read the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 3.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
Right, man. So, giving your strength over to women has destroyed many renowned men, have destroyed kings, man. Right? You can't give the woman power over you, Jake. As a man, the only other man that should be over you is the Most High and Yahawashi. Those men, right? We get the book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 22.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 22. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks.
Hey, that's what following your woman would do for you. Solomon, compared it as an ox going forth to the slaughter, right? Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, man. Right? So we can't be out here, going off and sinning to please women, man. We can't do that. That's weak. That's effeminate, man. And that's not pleasing of the Most High God. All right. Just thinking about it. And I wrote some things down right here, man, just to put it on brother's mind, and I'm sure a lot of us have dealt with it, but a lot of women like to deal with mind games, right? Different psychological tactics such as manipulation, and brothers do this as well. So again, this is for both sexes, man. Women, you can't, you don't want to be led astray by a wicked brother, man. So we got to be proving everybody. But yeah, different psychological tactics, reverse psychology, manipulation, making it all about controlling you. Brothers have witnessed women cry, nothing be going on, right? Solomon spoke on this in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter. Let's get that right quick. I believe I got it already. Let's bring this out. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26.
God, it's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands is bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
If you please the Most High, you're going to escape from her, right? Solomon said this type of woman is more bitter than death, right? This is mind game playing women, the manipulating women, that knows how to cry and still be lying woman. And the list goes on, right? This type of woman will have you losing yourself and what you know to be right to please her. She will turn you away from the Most High. We've read these accounts many times in the scriptures, and I still find it, wild that, that this happened to King Solomon, man, the wisest man to ever live. got jammed up, by women, then started to be into idolatry. His mind got taken away from the Most High because of the woman, right? Right. So the scripture says right here that the one that pleases the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken. Right. So brothers, even in the truth, have to stay girded, because the woman will come as a test of faith for you, man. Right. And now you've been sifted out the truth, trying to please and accommodate to her, man. Right. Before you know it, the woman has taken you captive mentally, man. You in mental bondage now. You buying Michael Kors, everything just to please her every week, and again, it's nothing wrong with buying your woman nice things, but brothers, don't become a slave to foolishness, man. Right? As men, first, we should always be seeking the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this Bible. Again, that should be your first woman. Seeking her and her revealing herself to you will show you how to deal with a woman in righteousness, right? Let's get Jeremiah chapter 31 and 22.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 22. And it reads, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man, man. So this is a new thing in the earth. This is not a normal thing, This is a new thing in the earth, in this land of confusion. Babylon, man. Also known as America. This is the place of confusion where the woman is ahead of the man, right? And again, that's why we're not prospering as a people, because we have to get back to that divine righteous order, right? We can see in this society that that's going on, right? I've been at jobs myself, and I'm sure brothers can attest to this, to where all the women are in the leadership positions, man. Right? And it really brings nothing but confusion, man. That's wicked, because what that does is it puts an evil spirit on our women when they're placed in those type of roles, right? Go ahead.
Shoot, even from a personal standpoint, from the various jobs that I've had, I can honestly say working with a male as a manager has always been more of a peaceable job.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I can see that. It really just creates confusion, man, because
So like,
go ahead, King.
The last job that I had, all three of my supervisors were women.
Yeah, man. Same.
I had three supervisors, all three of them women.
That's wild, man. Same here. At my job as well, man, most of the women, are in the leadership positions, man. And again, that just creates confusion, man. It does,
Same here.
See, our brothers are speaking up and attesting to that, man. But believe it or not, man, the woman has become an agent of Satan, to be used as a tool against men in this society. Every day that I scroll down my social media, I see it's always something where men and women are in opposition to one another. Because a lot of times the brothers do be wicked, but sometimes there's some righteous brothers out there trying to, help renew the mind of our women, and they're too far gone. I'm just gonna keep it real, brothers. A lot of our women are too far gone, and they can't be brought back. Right? Did brother have something to say? All right, we'll continue. But again, so we was going into it where a woman has become an agent. Somebody cutting in, they had something to say? All right, continuing on.
I had to mute. I muted him. We good.
Okay. Right. So I was just saying that the woman has become, it has is currently being used as a tool against us, just bringing up the division that I see within our people. And we can mainly notice that from social media. A lot of feminist women, man. And feminist is feminism has done nothing for our people, but been our downfall. Right. And it's all crafty counsel from the devil himself, the so-called white man, right? It's a divide and conquer strategy. We're weak as a people when we're not militant and in order, right? Let me get this precept real quick in John chapter 8. and verse 44.
It's the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. And it reads, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
Read verse 45.
Verse 45, and because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not.
See, we're out telling the truth, man, and the truth is this Bible, and the so-called elite that runs these places teaching nothing but lies, man. They're telling you that, if you're a man, that you can be a woman, right? They're telling the women that they can exalt themselves over men, right? They're telling you pretty soon that you're going to be able to if you want to get pleased by children, then you can do that, bro. So these people are of their father, the devil, man. And if you're with these new movements and things like that that's coming out, you are of your father, the devil, too. Right? So we got to come out of that, man, and renew our mind, right? Let me get the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 33.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
And all these things that shall be added to you. So we got to seek first the kingdom of God, right? Yahawashi says, seek first the kingdom and the Most High's righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you, right? So Jake, your woman can't come before the kingdom and the Most High's righteousness, right? Also known as the commandments, man. And we can, we get this all the time, but maybe this y'all, could be your first time listening to a lesson. So we're going to get it. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us.
Right. So, and I said I was going to get that disclaimer probably 2-3 times, just to kind of harp on that. But this is not all women, right? Some women have beautiful spirits and are striving and thriving, in their God-given role, right? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability and being humble and submissive to their husband, right? So, we're going to keep harping on that, bro, but now just transitioning on, it may be some brothers' lot to not have a woman, and we're going to get that because Christ brought that out as well, just to do the work of the Lord, man. Paul's mind was fixated on solely doing the work of the Lord, right? Now, I know a lot of brothers desire to have a woman, man ain't meant to be alone, right? But I was just throwing that out there, because at the end of the day, man, our mind has to continually be on the kingdom, right? That's how you become revolutionary for the Lord and are able to lead your family, right? Let me get First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 13. And, before you read, I'm going to give a little background information on this chapter. There was sort of like a competition going on, and a few brothers were, came forth and they had what they thought was the strongest thing. And in the competition, it was, I believe it was wine, women, the king, and the truth, right? So it was wine, women, the king, and the truth. Which one was most powerful, right? So this is what's going on right here, okay? So Zerubbabel is about to come up and speak right now, which he's gonna say that women are more powerful than the king and wine, right? But the truth is more powerful than it all, right? So let's start right here at First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 13. Let me see how we're looking on time. Looking pretty good. All right. So let's start right here at verse 13.
God, it's the book of First Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 13. Then the third, who has spoken of women and of truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak.
So Zerubbabel began to speak. He's about to bring it out. Verse 14.
O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who it is, Salakia, who is it then that ruleth them, or have the lordship over them? Are they not women?
Are they not women? He said it's not the king. Now the king, he's gonna go into the attributes of the king right here. Neither is it wine. But who has lordship over them, or who is above them? Who has more power than them? Right? Is it not women? He asked. Right? Read on, verse 15.
Verse 15. Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land.
Right. So women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. All come from women. Right? Read on.
Verse 16. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards, from whence the wine cometh.
Right. So even of them, women have nourished up the vineyards that bring the wine. Right? Read on.
Verse 17. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men. And without women cannot men be.
Wow. So they make our clothing, our garments for us, right? They bring glory and make us happy. They bring glory unto men. And he's saying, without women, cannot men be men? Can they not be? Read on.
Verse 18. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, and they do not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty.
So men go to gather gold and silver and other good things. Do they not love a woman which is comely in favor, right? So won't they spend that money on them to please and accommodate her, right? That's basically what he's going into, right? Let's read verse 19.
Verse 19. And letting all those things go, do they not gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto gold and unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever?
Right. So all that they do for her, man. They desire the woman more than all the riches in the world. Right. And they're going to do whatever they do to please her. Right. Read verse 20.
Verse 20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife.
Listen to Zerubbabel, man. He's giving examples of how everything we do is for the woman. He's showing how she is more powerful than the king and the wine. Right? Verse 21.
Verse 21. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother, nor country.
So he leaves everything behind, man. Right? He leaves everything behind for the woman, right? Read verse 22.
Verse 22. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman?
Right. So do you not know that the woman have dominion over you? Do you not go to work and work hard just to please your woman, to buy her things, to make her feel good, right? You bring all the money to your woman, right? Read verse 23.
God, verse 23. Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and steal, to sail upon the sea and upon the rivers.
So a man will go and rob and steal for his woman, bro. Jake does this a lot, man. I noticed that a lot of the killings here in the city, brothers don't sleep. Like a lot of the time it be over women, man. We're just gonna call it what it is. Whatever example it may be, Jake may have been trying to holler at it, and was overly disrespectful, and now, brothers done brought guns out. That all could be avoided, right? But as the scriptures say right here that Zerubbabel is bringing out, brothers will go and rob and steal and sell and go far and near for their woman, right? Read verse 24.
God, verse 24. And looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness. And when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
Right. So, he bringeth it back to her, whatever he's stolen, robbed, and he'll go look in the face of a lion, man, meaning the toughest, whatever it is, Jake ain't fearing them because he doing it for his woman, right? Read verse 25.
God, verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
Right. So a man loves his wife more than his mother and his father. So he's still giving examples, just showing, how the woman is more powerful than the king and the wine, right? Read verse 26.
Verse 26. Yea, many there be at Salakia. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes.
And become servants, man. A lot of Jakes give up their manhood for their woman, right? And really they start to be the woman and she starts to be the man, right? Read verse 27.
God, verse 27. Many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women.
For women, man. And that goes back to the first verse right here, man. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3, man. Right? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's what happened right here, man. You made your woman a god, right? And you put her before the Most High. If she's calling you to go off and sin, then your woman has become your god. And it says right here, many have also perished, have died for women, man. Let's read this account really quick. Starting at verse 28.
God, verse 28. And now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him?
So he's going into the king. He's going to give a great example right here, right? So it's not the king great in power, right? Don't many nations, don't people fear the king, right? Read verse 29.
Verse 29. Yet did I see him and Apam, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admiral Bardacus, sitting at the right hand of the king.
Right. So the king's concubine was sitting at the right hand of the king, man. So he's about to go into it. The woman is able to get away with a lot of things that a mortal man cannot do. Right? Listen to this right here, verse 30.
Verse 30. And taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head, she also struck the king with her left hand.
All right, so this woman, man, the concubine, she done took the king's crown off his head and put it on her head. This is my crown now, right? And she struck the king with her left hand, right? So let's see what the king do, right? Verse 31.
Verse 31. And yet, for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with an open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter, that she might be reconciled to him again.
So the concubine then slapped fire from the king and took his crown and put it on his head, and he just laughed. You know what I'm saying? She just laughed. He was shocked that she did it, but you know, if I had slapped the king, I would have been put to death, man. If I took the king's crown and put it on my head, I would have been put to death, right? But the king, he gave his strength over to the woman right then, right? That's what happened. Read verse 32.
Verse 32. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus?
Right, man. So, you know, that's the woman is more powerful, and you can read on this right here, in your own time. But I think we've made our point. You know, we can't give our strength over to a woman. Even the king, you know, that's what he did, right? So many great men have fallen, you know, and run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. Many also have perished, have erred, and have sinned for women, man. Right? So we can't do that, man. And I know it's tough, brothers, you know, but you gotta gird up your loins and be a man. All right.
It's like it.
Go ahead, King.
I just gonna reemphasize, man, that Ecclesiastes 7:26. You know, you just gotta constantly do what pleases the Most High. If you don't, you know, if that woman's wicked, you know, and you transgressing God's laws, you gonna be taken by her. You know, so that I read that verse all the time, man, just to keep me straight.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Reverse 27.
Verse 27. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account.
Verse 28.
Verse 28. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found.
Have I not found, man? He, you know, didn't find a woman. Found one man among 1,000. You know, that wanted to change their life, man. They wanted to be renewed. They wanted to gird up their loins. They wanted to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And the faith in Yahawashi the righteous. You know. Let's move on. Let's get Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 23.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 13 and verse 23. And it reads, in those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and of Ammon and of Moab.
Now this was going on, you know, just simply because, and we're gonna go into it right here. Read on.
Verse 24. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people.
Right, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. Read on.
Verse 25. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by the Most High, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves.
Right. So the reason that, you know, we were commanded to do this is because you know, they weren't following our God. They weren't following our power, you know, and just like we read in First Ezra, the 4th chapter, and Proverbs 31:3, Ecclesiastes 7:26, is sometimes we lose ourselves, you know, and we start doing what our woman wants us to do instead of making those tough decisions to do what the Most High wants us to do, you know, and that's what happened to our mighty forefather, you know, King Solomon, right? Read on, verse 26.
Verse 26, did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved by his power, and the Most High made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin.
Wow. There was no man like King Solomon, right? You know, the nations used to come just to hear him speak, his wisdom. You know, they were appalled by when he spoke. You know, the metaphors, the similes, his wisdom, right? He knew so much because that's what he had prayed for. You know, that's what the blessing that the Most High granted him, man, because of his humility, right? Read verse 27.
Verse 27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives?
Yeah, that's it on that. You know, but the point in that is that, you know, even King Solomon, man, right? Our great and mighty forefather lost himself, man, you know, due to woman, and that caused him to sin, right? You know, so a lot of brothers lose their mind trying to please their woman and end up giving dominion or manhood, you know, giving their manhood and dominion over to the woman, man. So no woman can take the place of the Most High, brothers. And we got to make sure we understand that, right? Let's get Sirach chapter 9. Starting at verse 2.
The book of Sirach, chapter 9, and verse 2. Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance.
So, brothers, we can't give our soul or dominion or our power over to our woman, man, because we supposed to stand up and we have to make those tough decisions. That's not a easy thing to do. I know a lot of brothers struggle with that, man. You know, but we have to do it because that's what we've been called to do as leaders. Right? Read verse 3.
Verse 3. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares.
Yeah, a harlot would do it, man. She knows how to seduce you. She knows how to get in your mind. She knows how to use her body and things like that to trap you. Right? Read verse 5.
Verse 5. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her.
So we can't get trapped, you know, by how she look, or we gonna get jammed up. We're gonna get jammed up, brothers. Read verse 6.
Verse 6. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance.
Hey, you give your soul to the harlots, you get jammed up, and now your bank account gone. You done went on a vacation, and now you got back, and she done left you for another man because you're dealing with the harlot. Now she finna go on a vacation with him and spend all his money up. So, brothers, you know, you can't get jammed up, you know, by the woman, man. Verse 8.
Verse 8. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire.
Many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, man. Right? They done got jammed up, and they done got into a trance, man. And now they looking bad. They going outside out here, man. You know, they going outside. So we got to do better, man. I don't, brothers done fell victim to this, man. Right? Brothers done fell victim to this. We all have. But, we got to use it as our testimony to continue to move forward and move in the path of righteousness and reach back and teach our young men, right? So they can become aware of this as well, right? Let me get Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33 and verse 19.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
Read verse 20.
Verse 20. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any.
You can't give your dominion and yourself and your soul over to others, man. Right? You can't. And brothers shouldn't be doing that, man. You can't give your soul over to your woman, brothers, because that's breaking the first commandment, man. That's what that's doing. That's creating an idol. Read verse 22.
God, verse 22. In all thy works, keep thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
Right, man. So we got to keep to thyself the preeminence, right? And you can't give your honor away, brothers. Stop giving your manhood away. You done made the woman your man. We gotta gird up and be mighty men. The charge that David gave Solomon, brothers. So we can't put a stain in our honor. Giving dominion to your woman over you is putting a stain in your honor. You don't have any honor no more. Keep to thyself the preeminence, man. Right? Let me get Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
And the reproof and instruction are the way of life, man. So the laws of God and the commandments is our path, man. It's our light in a dark place, man. If we stay abiding in this, then we won't give our soul, our honor, our dominion over to a woman, right? Read verse 24.
Verse 24. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
So the commandments and the laws of God is going to keep you from an evil woman, from the flattery or the trickery or the deception of the tongue of a strange woman, right? Read verse 25.
Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
Hey, she'll do it, man. She'll do it. Yeah, man. She can look at you and just put something on you to where you ain't, you done blacked out, and now you committing all type of wickedness and sin with her now, man. Right? So we gotta be men. We gotta gird up ourselves and be men. Many, as we discussed earlier, man, like many great men done fell, man. King David fell. No, he didn't fall, but I'm saying, he went off for a woman, man. Committed adultery with another man's wife. Then had that man put to death, put him on the front line in a tough battle, for him to get killed. That was his intentions. He had to repent for that, man. That's in 2 Samuel, the 11th chapter, right? Adam went off for his woman. We can go into those accounts in Genesis chapter 3. It also talks about it in 1 Timothy chapter 2, I believe verse 14. Samson and Delilah, right? Went off, You know, Delilah was conspiring with the enemies, and you know, she inquired about Samson about where he gets his strength from, right? You know, at first Samson wouldn't tell her, but then she seduced him, she deceived him, right? And he told her, you know, the power that were in his locks from him being a Nazarite, right? That's in Judges, the 16th chapter. Jezebel and King Ahab. King of Judah, was jammed up because he was following the commandments of his woman when he should have been following the commandments of the Most High God. You know, King Ahab was wicked, right? Let's get more. We about to wrap it up too, brothers. I know we coming close on time. Let me get Sirach, the 25th chapter, starting at verse 24.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die.
You know, so hey, that's plain. That's plain, right? The sin did come in the beginning, come from the woman, right? All right. Read verse 25.
Verse 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to go abroad.
Hey, thou sayest. That's what it say. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to go abroad. Read verse 26.
Come, verse 26. If she go not as thou wouldst have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go.
Hey, that's what it say.
That's right.
You know, if she ain't trying to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you know, she wants you to give her, you know, dominion over you, you know, and, hey, you got to get out of there, man. You know, she'll jam you up, you know, but
Bring it out.
You know, but again, we can go back to Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter and 26th verse. You know, whoso pleased the Most High shall escape her, man. But if she's committing you and convincing you to sin, and you start to sin and put her before the Most High, you're going to get taken by her. It's like a spell, man. It's like witchcraft. You know, they will put a spell on you, man. And again, we have sincere, righteous, submissive sisters, man, that we love, man. You know, so this ain't for them. But if you wicked and you're trying to convince men to worship you, hey, man, you're going to get cut down. And you're going to get exposed. Let me get Matthew chapter 19. Let's start at verse 10 and we're going to read through 12. And then we're going to get one more scripture and wrap it up.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 10. His disciples said unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry.
Right. Let's get the context. Let's start at verse 8 and you can read through verse 12.
Verse 8. He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I said unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whosoever marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery. His disciples said unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry.
Right. So the disciples, man, they was like, man, I might as well not have a woman. I might as well not get married if those are the only, ways that we can put her away. Right? Read verse 11.
Verse 11. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given.
Right. So Yahawashi is about to say something that is very hard to be understood. Right? That's what he was telling them. A lot of men are not going to be able to receive this. Read verse 12.
Verse 12, for there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it.
Right. So Yahawashi knew that some people aren't going to be able to understand what I'm going to bring out to you. It says, for there are some eunuchs which were born so from their mother's womb. So some people, based on a defect or whatever, they may be handicapped or whatever, they're not able to deal with women. And that's how they were from their mother's womb. And then it reads, it says, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. Maybe they had an accident, castrated, or whatever the situation may be, they can't deal with women because of that deficiency, because of whatever it was that has happened to them. And then he went into it and said, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake, meaning they all about the work. They don't have time to deal with the woman, man, to deal with women. They all about doing the work of the Lord, because sometimes your woman can distract you, man, from what the Most High requires of us to do, right? So, that's what he was saying, that, let who is able to receive this, receive it. And you take whatever you get from it and keep pushing, but, Lord willing, brothers and sisters, hopefully this was edifying. We're going to bring out one last verse and we're going to wrap it up, man. But, brothers, we can't give our strength over to our women. Let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Most High.
And all praise to the Most High. Lord willing, this was edifying. And y'all are not out there celebrating the 4th of July. Hopefully not, because we're not dealing with that, and the Lord's not dealing with it either. Kwame Yasharala, peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Hopefully this was edifying. Love y'all. Peace and blessings.